Hey, what's up, Street Talks? Eric from the Eric from Street Photography blog. So, let me just share with you some practical rando ideas on life and more stuff. So, I want to talk to you a little bit about notions of beauty. So, I don't want to talk about like other people's beauty, but like whether you consider yourself beautiful or not. So, this is a very interesting question to me because generally speaking, when you think about the philosophy of beauty, it generally has to do with women and the female form. So I'm gonna speak as a guy, assuming you're a guy, but you know, this could also apply to any gender and so forth. So I kind of discovered that what we all want in life is we want to become more beautiful, more powerful, more beautiful. And how do we make ourselves more beautiful? You know, through what we drive, through the consumerist things we have, how we style our hair, the clothes we watch and wear and so forth. And you know, for lots of guys, we try to look more beautiful by, you know, getting more ripped, lowering our body fat percentage, getting a six-pack. And generally for women, it's you know, reducing body fat percentage, increasing muscle mass, getting a bigger butt and whatnot. And I kind of really like this notion because when you think about beauty, rather than trying to purchase beauty and rather trying to find beauty in external places that are beyond ourselves, perhaps it's better for us to transform ourselves into what we consider the apex beauty. So in a previous video, I talked about why it's good to be into yourself. And this is actually one thing I discovered about myself. I actually really like to look at photos of myself, and maybe in the past when I was a little bit fatter, you know, had more higher body fat percentage, I actually didn't really like the way I looked. I didn't like the way my face looked, and also when my muscle mass percentage was a little bit lower, I actually didn't really like the way I looked. And so I think what we try to do with fashion is make ourselves more beautiful, to make ourselves more appealing to ourselves. Now, I guess what I'm trying to do now too is treating myself like my own experiment. Meaning, I'm gonna strive to my life to make myself the most beautiful version of myself that I can, and seeking to augment my own personal aesthetics and beauty into myself. So, beauty is a notion often shared once again with women but not men. So what do I consider beautiful for myself or just in general? So my notion is this: generally speaking, more muscle mass, generally speaking, lower body fat percentage, and then beyond that, it's augmenting your physical strength. I actually think that a human that could, you know, deadlift more, I think is more beautiful. And even with art and aesthetics, thinking about more of the physiological things, which means knowing that the ultimate apex of beauty, it's not objects and things, but it's actually human beings. So I think it's actually good for us photographers and artists to be enthralled with both the male form and the female form. So it don't really matter what your sexual preferences, but kind of learning how to appreciate both in different ways. For example, I generally tend to like other guys who I consider stylish, and guys who have more muscular mass, guys who have lower body fat percentage. Now I kind of aspire to that like Greek god physique. And actually with women, I actually really love it when women, similar to men, have a higher muscle mass percentage and lower body fat percentage. So if you're a girl and you could deadlift or squat more than twice your weight, you probably have a nice physique, a nice butt, nice legs or whatever. And so this is the funny thing, is that we tend to genderize differences between men and women. I think it should be the same, right? Like any human being, regardless of your ethnicity, your gender, whatever, is going to look more beautiful or attractive with more muscle mass and less body fat percentage. And so I feel that, you know, powerlifting, having a meat heavy diet, low carb, low sugar, whatever, it could benefit everybody. And to me, this is such a great thought too, because you know, we see a lot of changes happening in society where women are starting to powerlift more, which I think is a great change. Like, there's one girl I know at the gym, her name's Jenny. She's maybe like 130 pounds. She could deadlift like 380 pounds. And you know, she's just been practicing and training for a long time. So it's very optimistic to me, because it don't really matter what your background is. With training, you could achieve a much more beautiful physique. Now, things which I actually find a little bit difficult is you cannot really alter the way your human face looks. So I mean, you could do plastic surgery and get a nose job, whatever, but it seems that beyond plastic surgery, the easiest way to make ourselves more beautiful is to, once again, increase muscle mass and decrease body fat percentage. So increasing our 1 rep max in bench, deadlift, squat, and intermittent fasting throughout the day seems like the optimal solution. And I mean, there's obviously nothing morally wrong against plastic surgery, nothing like that. To me, it's more like, okay, if you want to do that, that's totally cool, but you know, think about the money, think about the time, think about the pain. Is it kind of worth it to you? And I think it's also important to really look at ourselves and ask ourselves, what is it about our face? What is it about us that we don't consider beautiful? And to strive to make yourself as beautiful as possible. So things I can't change my height. I'm around 5'10", which I'm actually pretty happy for. Pretty tall for an Asian dude. And currently I think I weigh 100, maybe 73, 174 pounds. And I kind of like my build, but I want to make myself more beautiful. So who knows, by the end of the year I could hit over 200 pounds. Mostly muscle mass, preferably body fat percentage under 10%. I don't know if it's possible, but I'm going to strive towards it. So more of the story is this: don't look for beauty outside of you. You are your best specimen, you are your best test subject, you are your own best beautiful object, and just strive to make yourself as beautiful as you can, to marvel at yourself. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Peace out.